The first thing I want to say is confidence always fits, no matter what size you are. We've got a lot to cover in this book, so I'm sorry if this video is like crazy out of order and crazy all over the place, but let's just get into it, shall we? So, my experience as a plus-size woman has been both negative and positive. I characterize my experience in a few different ways. I lost weight for the wrong reasons. It was healthy dieting, healthy exercise and all that, but it was for the wrong reason. The first time I remember, like the skinniest I've ever been in my whole life, I still believe was probably around 170. But I lost weight because I felt inadequate because I was dating this guy who was, what I at the time thought he was like better looking than I was, and so I kind of wanted to lose weight for him and look good for him. So that definitely pushed me. And also, just a side note, during this time that I lost weight, I was also very, very active in my life. I was on color guard, and it's in the marching band. I know it doesn't sound like very much, but it has a lot of arms, a lot of running, a lot of constant movement, and I definitely lost some weight from that. But I was very active in comparison to when I would gain weight. I was very, very active, and I would do stuff every day. Anyway, I was very active, so I do attribute that to why I lost weight, and that's the losing weight healthy, but for the wrong reasons. So I did want to lose weight for myself, but the concept of doing it for my own personal benefit is, I guess, just wasn't as strong, and that's still what I'm working for, because sometimes I just feel like I'm not worth it, and I know that's not true. That doubt comes back in and you feel like I can't do it, I'm not worth it, it's not worth the effort, but it always is. The next time that I seriously lost weight was, again, not for my own personal benefit, but to fit in, I guess. I did sorority recruitment at Florida State, and it's not something I regret, but it's definitely something that led me down a path that I didn't like. But I lost about 35 pounds for the recruitment process, and I was still one of the largest girls trying to join a sorority, so I mean, it's not like I was super stick thin, I was still considered plus size. So I lost weight for the wrong reasons, and I definitely think that when you lose weight for the wrong reason, it causes like an even worse fall back. In high school and college, the times are very different, because they're very different and yet they're almost exactly the same. Because when I first started high school, I was consumed with my self-consciousness. And when I would walk into the front doors of school, I would think, oh my god, everyone's looking at me, everyone sees my stomach jiggling, everyone sees this and that, whatever else. But it took me a really long time to see that they don't even notice anything, really. We all are our toughest critics, and we all know our worst flaws, and we think that others can see those right away. And honestly, they really don't. They really don't notice those things. About 9 times out of 10, they were more concerned with what's going on in their own life than what I'm trying to hide from them, or what I'm thinking is so blatantly obvious to everyone around. And so before I realized that, I was probably in like the end of my sophomore year, going into junior year, to sort of counteract that feeling, I just told myself that I am confident. It was sort of like fake it till you make it, right? Like I just kind of told myself that I looked fine, no one was looking at me, and I'm confident, and you know, doing that definitely helped me feel better, and eventually I just kind of stopped being so concerned with what might be on the minds of others. My family is very concerned with weight loss, almost to a fault, in my opinion, because it's difficult to explain even this plus size confidence to my mom, who has been very, I don't want to say consumed, but that's what it feels like for me. I feel like when you are consumed with the number on the scale, there's really nothing that can come from that. There's really no happiness to be found in that number on the scale, no matter how low it's going to be. The number on the scale is always going to be a very negative representation of weight for me. And that's because even as a kid, I would dread going to the doctor because I had to go on the scale. And it's just always been something in my family that we try to fix, and we've been trying to fix and trying to work with and trying to lose weight. It's because my mom was always very thin when she was younger, and I have always been a plus size person since I was like in elementary school, really. I remember being in 3rd grade and thinking like 110 pounds was too heavy to me, which maybe it was for a 3rd grader, I don't really know. But I still remember being so consumed with that number. And it kind of created a complex in myself that I needed to overcome. And it's still something that I'm, trying to work around, and I'm trying to sort of bring my family into this realm of self-acceptance. I'm not gonna make myself feel worse because I'm not happy with how I look. That is so not the point of what I'm doing here. I'm gonna try to accept it and move on and try to make it better. College is both a very accepting place and a very closed-minded place. It really depends on what school you go to, the people that you spend your time with, and how you personally feel, because your own perspective is the biggest decider of how you feel about anything. But that's also not to say that in college you won't find anyone who is not interested in all that junk that you're drinking. So it's definitely a much wider range of people when you go to college. If you're in high school and you feel like nothing will ever change or get better or move forward in your life, trust me, I've been there. And at that point, my sister was already in college, so I knew that college was on my horizon, and I knew that going there would just be such a wonderful place to grow. But it's also a place where you learn so much about yourself and what you want and what you need. My 4 years of high school and my 4 years of college are very similar because I spent the first 2 years slightly self-conscious and projecting my emotions onto others and worried about what people would think. And then I spent the last 2 years of high school and college coming into my own and realizing that I can do for myself what others say that I can't. They can say that I won't be happy at this weight, they say I won't be confident at this weight, they say I shouldn't wear the things that I wear, I shouldn't do this, I shouldn't wear such a short dress, or I should hide myself, or I should do all these things because they don't want to see it. Well, at this point, I don't really give a shit. On YouTube, it's very common for someone to go out of their way and make you feel bad about yourself. And that's what YouTubers kind of face when they put their opinions online, but in reality, in public places, people are much less eager to express themselves. I'm going to link all of my favorite plus size beauty gurus in the down bar below. They're all so wonderful, so beautiful, they have such great fashion sense. Thank you for watching all the way through. This was a very personal video for me to make because this story has so many more chapters that need to be written. It's not something where you start here and you end up here. There really is no stop or start. It's always in you. It always fits you. Thanks so much for watching, guys. See you next time. But that's not to say you won't find people who are totally interested in all of that drunk. Do you guys ever play with your cameras and try to film as long as it goes to see if it's gonna really die? Because my camera's been saying it's dying for like 3 minutes already.